Recording. Okay, we'll admit Kevin here. Great. Hey everyone. So great to have everyone here this evening. We're in October. It's sweater weather up here in Minnesota, which is where I'm calling in from this evening, and happy to have all of you joining us tonight. So for those of you, if it's first time, this is our monthly Some Ventures Band of Angels meeting where we get together along with other angel groups and we screen early stage opportunities together. And the basic ground rules for the night are that we're going to have a 10-minute pitch followed by 5 to 10 minutes of Q&A. It's really the purpose of the event tonight is one, obviously, to get these founders some great exposure, some great feedback on their decks, but really want to be able to get as many companies funded as possible. And to that end, we invite members from Pasadena Angels, TCA, the band. But at the conclusion of the event tonight, we all stick around and we get to talk about the founders that we saw, and then we advance companies up to the Band of Angels deal screening, and that happens up in Northern California. And then they'll go forward with the dinner. And for those who aren't familiar with the band, it's the oldest angel investment group, actually. Believe it or not, in the world, I believe, it was over 30 years in existence and over 100 exits in the lifetime of the band. Sonia will log on here at some point, and she usually chimes in with the exact number because she keeps all those vanity metrics for all of us. And we're just really lucky to have such a great group of investors and really a great group of founders to present this evening. So with that, I really want to just highlight a couple of other updates on behalf of our fund. As in addition to being a band member and the chair of the LA SIG, I'm also the managing partner of Some Ventures. And really had a very busy month this past month. We not only had a big Perlin launch event in New York, we got to acknowledge and go recognize our principal, Peter Jun, who is recognized as the venture capital ambassador to South Korea. I've probably shared this more than he has here over the past few weeks. Much more modest individual than I am. Peter, I think you might have just joined. I should have got it in before you signed on. But Peter's been tremendously wonderful resource for our fund, sitting on the board of Perlin and helping us with a number of other prop tech opportunities. So congrats to Peter. Also have recently had a DressX board meeting. I can tell that one of the nice things about this particular meeting is that often we'll bring in early opportunities and not always, they don't always make it in time to make it up to the Northern California group. Sometimes the investments move too quickly, and so we had a handful of members that had the chance to invest in DressX after I brought them in about 3 years ago. And I can say, rest assured, there's going to be a lot of positive news on the horizon for DressX, with some additional partnerships being announced and some partnerships growing through their existing customers and partners with Snapchat and Meta. So really excited about what's on the horizon. And let me admit Sally here. Sally's one of our most prolific members. Hey, welcome, Sally. You didn't miss much. I'm just going through the ground rules here and a little bit of an update. But I'm going to share that Some Ventures monthly update in our chat window. Additionally, I just want to give it a chance here for the first 15 minutes or so before we dive into the presentations. We're going to try and accomplish two things. We're going to give a couple of quick sort of coming soon updates for the fund and for the group and companies we're going to see soon. We're also going to hear from our strategic partner at Siemens, Carlos Ortiz. I want to invite him to go first here and share a little bit about what's going on with Siemens and with our growing partnership as a fund with Siemens. So, Carlos, do you want to take things away first, and then we'll move on with our founders?
Yeah, happy to. Thanks, Garrett, and thanks, everyone. Good evening, or maybe good morning to some of you. No, happy to be here. Maybe a few words on Siemens, right? So I'm sure you've run across it if you've stepped on a train or had an MRI scan or even worked with some of our industrial software. $90 billion company listed in the DAX, and our vision, if you will, is that or our mission, I should say, rather, is that we be the digital and sustainable transformation of industry, and we do that through a combination of hardware, especially on the automation side, but also software and services. And especially on the services side, that's where I come from, the Siemens Advanta team. What we do here is very simple, is we work end-to-end with our clients to help them figure out their digital transformation from a concept and strategy all the way to implementation, including a team that's now 10,000 people strong across the globe, and definitely a strong foothold in the US. And in terms of what we've done now in collaboration with some and the portfolio companies, we've helped quite a few of the companies in the fund so far, including PlanSwitch, for example, where we help them with their financing needs for their first bioplastics plant based out of Sanford, North Carolina, and then also helping them build a monitoring, validation, and reporting solution for their carbon footprint of their, I should say, really negative carbon footprint for their production of their bioplastic, which is quite an exciting project. And beyond that, also working with EduWorks, for example, where they're now launching a next generation AI platform, and they've asked us to be their development partner for bringing that platform to scale. So really excited to continue those collaborations, and long story short, we're here to help companies exactly at that growth stage to use that digital and sustainable technologies to get to the next stage.
Hey, Carlos, thank you so much for the update. Also, I saw Amy Wood joined us, and Amy just got done with a marathon in a way, and that's the Most Fundable Companies Marathon, which is just had an incredible event, the culmination of a tremendous amount of hard work on the part of Amy and Dr. Everett and many of the Pepperdine community. Amy, would you mind giving just a brief recap on the event and on how things went?
Hi, Garrett. Thank you for giving me time to talk to everyone. Sorry I jumped on a few minutes late. Yeah, we just announced out of Pepperdine Grad CDO Business School the 2023 Pepperdine Most Fundable Companies List winners. We had our showcase event on September 28th, so just a couple weeks ago, where we announced those companies for the first time. There are 17 of them, and they're from a range of industries, from SaaS drone software to life science to media. We have consumer goods. So we're industry agnostic. These 17 list winners were selected from a pool that began at just over 3,000 who came to the program from all 50 US states. So I encourage everyone to check out the list winners. They're all looking to raise funding. And we also have on our website, if you'd like to take a look, also feature 43 semifinalists. So there's a great group of companies out there. I think this year is our biggest and best yet. Garrett, thank you for being there in person, and everyone else who was here who was able to attend either in person or virtually. We've had a lot of feedback that the quality of this year's list is the best yet, and it's our 6th year running the program.
Absolutely, I would agree with that. Really great group, and we've funded some past Most Fundable Companies winners. And most recently on the top of my mind, I know there are a handful of them, but I was actually just watching the other day the 2018 or 19 presentation from Perlin, from Georgi, when he was up there, because we were looking and reminiscing about how far he's come. And for those that didn't see the big Maya launch announcement, Perlin is powering the Eklund Gomes website with their new AI functionality. It's really pretty cool. So encourage you guys to check that out if you get a chance. And thanks again, Amy. So next up, we're going to do a couple of, I think we're going to do portfolio updates, and then we're going to get into this coming soon. And Sangeet, don't worry, we're going to make sure Luxury Travel Hackers, and we got a couple others that are going to give a sort of coming soon for next month. But first off, I'm going to ask Randy Marcin, from founder and CEO of Skedaddle, to give just an update. So for those who didn't see Randy present before, we actually are deal lead for this investment through Some Ventures. And what's unique about our investment here in Skedaddle is, one, for anybody who's known me or followed our investments, I'm very much an investor who focuses, especially at the earliest stages, on the founder and the founding team. And it's hard to find a founder with a more impressive background than Randy. He's built and exited multiple companies. to include exits to most recently to Apple, and he then went on and actually led product teams in Apple. But I guess I'll get too long-winded if I start talking about Randy's full background here. So what I should also mention is that with Skedaddle, you have what at least I believe is going to be one of the future use cases for augmented reality. And the big questions that I asked myself when I was thinking about these future use cases is how does this scale, and what does it look like in the future? And I think that Randy's vision for how to use AR, how we will use AR in the future, is not only brilliant, but he's executing it right now, and I think he's bringing it to life. And I'll hand it over to Randy, and look forward to hearing the update.
Thank you, Garrett. Can you enable screen sharing? I'll quickly show you a slide or two. Cool. So thanks for the intro, and hi, everybody, and thanks for the opportunity for the update. We place these augmented reality beacons, we call them, in the real world, and it shows you stuff. And we tested a use case of Burning Man. So this is a picture of Burning Man this year. And we made a special version of the app. Nothing commercial is allowed there. So we made an app called Burn AR, and used their API, and we tested it there, it's a great use case because there's nothing on a map, in maps, but we downloaded all the art installations and you could see them. And then I'm going to switch over to one other screen here. And I made a quick video for you guys of the app actually working. And I'm gonna bring that up in 1 second. Too many screens and I'm trying to find it. Hold on. Pressure. It's only showing me preview. 1 second.
Well, while Randy does that, I'll share that he's soon to launch in the App Store, and actually has, in addition to South by Southwest as a coming customer, is also launching with the University of Hawaii soon, and so has been moving quickly over the past few months. And if anyone can recall from a few months ago, one of the things that we did was we actually went and created beacons in Hermosa Beach, and now it's ready. There you go.
Yeah, thanks for filling in the time. I'm gonna make sure you can hear this audio. Okay, so just a quick little video I recorded this afternoon for you guys. Here it goes.
Hey, Some Ventures. This is Randy, CEO of Skedaddle. I'm here at the Polynesian Cultural Center on Oahu, demonstrating how Skedaddle could be used in a theme park. So I'm going to just turn my phone around, and you'll see these Skedaddle beacons all around us, showing us things to do. And let's say I'm just looking for food right now. I can just filter out other things. So I can turn off things. You'll see beacons. That recreation beacon can come and go. Food, come and go. I can just tap on whatever I want to look for and filter it out. These are all...
Whoops. Not sure why that stopped, but I'll pick it back up.
These are all pre-made beacons that just exist. You would see them if you came here and used Skedaddle. This one in the middle is a yellow outline. I made this one. It's a personal beacon, and it says, let's meet here. So this is like if I have family members and we're all exploring and don't know where to meet, we can just place that beacon. Everybody can see it on their phone, and then you know to meet there. If you tap on it, you can view details, and I've given more instructions in here. Say, meet at 4 p.m. here. So super easy to give that message to family members just in the app. If you look around some more, you'll see I have one more beacon I placed here near me called Hello Some Ventures. So that's just for this demo. Let's see what the details say here. Oh, it says participate in the last of our angel round. We had an excellent first angel round, super successful. We're just closing it. It got us to this MVP, which you see is working now. We've got a beta that we're launching here on the island of Oahu in 2 weeks. Super fun, can't wait for that. And can't wait to talk to you more in the meeting.
That's it. And that launch, Garrett, is going to be the Air Force game, football game against University of Hawaii. We're going to book some screen time on the screen, and the announcer is going to say, only on Hawaii, download this app, and it's going to have the QR code. We're doing that at a volleyball game and a football game to get a bunch of people here on Oahu using Skedaddle. It's contained just to the island for now, so we can study and do beta test it here. So lots of great progress.
Great. Hey, Randy, thanks so much for the update. Really appreciate the time. I'm going to keep moving along here. We've got Jürgen, founder and CEO of Wave On. It's a portfolio company for about, gosh, we invested about 3 years ago, I believe, in the seed round. And I will not steal Jürgen's thunder, but I can say that I remember driving up to because at the last minute up to the band meeting up in Northern California, and just being so excited 3 years ago, and because I knew that Jürgen was the type of founder who was going to execute and make it happen, and sure enough, he's done just that, and we got a Series A on the horizon. So Jürgen, why don't you take it away?
Thank you, Garrett, and thanks for reminding me to dial in and inviting me to give the update. It has been a while, but since the seed round, in which we raised $1.5 million under the name Verifier, we since rebranded to Wavon. We were able to build our platform, got about 30 brands, consumer brands on our platform, who are connecting their physical products, their consumer products, with digital experiences. They are doing that by embedding small chipsets like this or even smaller into their products. And what happened since this year, actually, we made a full swing into the AI world, where we not just provide any digital experience, but we provide what we call product AI experience, where brands can train the AI model that we provide to them on the specifics of their products and environmental variables or real-time data. We are focused on sports products, for instance, so they can train the AI on the specifics of their, let's say, bicycles or surfboards or whatever you have, and maybe even on real-time data like wave forecasts, weather forecasts. And now the brands, basically their customers, can ask really simple questions. Will this surfboard be the right board for me tomorrow in the wave conditions? Or can I take this bicycle on a specific trail, and how do I have to adjust the sag on the bicycle for that particular trail? Now the AI knows also my weight and can make a prediction, can answer me. The really cool part is you can do this all in spoken language now. You've all hopefully done ChatGPT, so it works in like that, but in spoken words. You can just through your phone ask the questions, and the AI will answer you in spoken words. So it's a really, really cool thing, and the development happened so fast. We just started out this summer with AI, and now it changed our world already. And brands can easily train those models on their specifics. So we get so much work to do that we decided now is the best moment to raise the A round, to put us into a place where we can grow the AI team, go beyond the sports and active lifestyle, where we focus on next thing will be, might be interesting for Carlos, will be medical devices, embedding medical devices with the AI chip. So Wavon AI chips, just pop them into the product, and the brand has the AI capability with their typically regular consumer products. Now they are smart consumer products. And so we are riding this wave. We got attracted top talent from formerly ServiceNow. They come on our team. They established our AI competence center, building out the platform. And we are hoping to grow this company really, really quickly. And yeah, Wavon AI, hope that will be in everybody's mind when they see it coming as the leader in product AI. We call it product AI. That's the quick update.
Awesome. Well, I will also say that some of the outside of the new applications, you've really done a fantastic job of actually winning awards, even working with backpack and luggage companies like Theurer, I believe in the past, and I look forward to seeing you build upon that success, Jurgen. So thank you so much for making the time. And we want to have you back to give a longer presentation as this next round comes together,
Sure.
please. Thank you so much. All right, so Jason and I had a really interesting call with a prop tech opportunity earlier today, and that founder could not be with us. But I want to just sort of tease it a little bit and give Jason the floor because he was doing some diligence on the opportunity so far, and I think it'll be a fun one. So, Jason, why don't you go ahead real quick and share share a little bit?
Yeah, absolutely. So, first of all, welcome everybody. Thanks for jumping on the call and for giving us all the time. Everybody's busy. CityLine is a AI screening software focused on multifamily property owners. They algorithmically reduce, I'm reading right now if you haven't figured this out because I had their CEO give me a quick little blurb, reduces eviction and back payments, eliminates human bias, and minimizes vacancy loss by making better decisions faster. There are 3 Cornell grads that all buddied up together. They all have a background in real estate, JLL, Cushman Wakefield, went on to grad school. They kind of came up with this concept. They're backed by Entrepreneurs Incubator out of New York, and they're raising a fund, or they're raising $1.5 million on a $7 million safe. And they will be presenting next week. We're very excited about them. It looks like there could be a really good fit. They've already got 100K in ARR, and they just launched in February.
Oh, hey, you hammered through that. I got to take some notes here, Jason. I'm getting the bullets out here faster. So, fantastic. I know we're already a little over, but I've built in a little cushion at the back end. So no rush here from Sangeeth. If you want to introduce Gary and Luxury Travel Hackers, this is going to be another presentation we're looking forward to in full next month, but want to give hand the floor over for a few minutes to give everyone kind of a high level on the company.
Hey there, this is Sang Peruri. I'm a member of the Band of Angels. I live in Los Altos. We invested in Luxury Travel Hackers earlier this year, as well as another 5-6 band members. They're doing a bridge round, which all of us are participating in. We've been excited with the company, how capital efficient they are, and the company seems to be at a good stage and about to hit an inflection. So we're excited to support them. Gary?
Yeah, hi everybody. How are you? Nice to meet you. How's it going? Garrett, I think you're on mute.
It's a good thing I was on mute because I thought he said my name initially and I was confused. So you go for it, please. There you go.
Yeah, sure. Am I giving my little pitch, or am I just giving like sort of an elevator pitch? What would you guys?
Yeah, if you could just do a bit of an elevator pitch. Next month, we're going to have you we had a full slate this month, so I want to give you a chance to give an elevator pitch, just share a little bit about your progress for over the next 2-3 minutes, please.
Yeah, great. Yeah, so what we're doing is we're leveraging travel content and influencers and making vacations bookable via social media, right? And so, just quick problem solution, 86% of all travelers choosing their next vacation on social media, every generation except boomers, which are my parents, maybe some of the people here. And, then they're spending 10 to 20 hours of research on multiple websites to build a trip that was just presented to them. So we're removing that friction between the discovery and the booking. And we're building a white label booking engine for travel influencers to be able to turn followers into customers. We've got 300 influencers on our wait list. We did a beta through our influencer accounts that we own and run. We have about 15 of them with 1.5 million followers. We did about 1.5 million in sales with 18K in ad spend. So we hit a really good ROAS, and we're kind of crushing it in a lot of ways. So that's it.
Hey, no, that's awesome, and let's make sure that Hunter, if we can make sure that we also share the deck even in preparation for next month, in case anyone wants to jump on with Gary beforehand and get a one-on-one pitch there. I know one thing for sure about Sang is that he does he does his DD. I can attest to that.
Oh, yes.
The man does his diligence and provides thorough notes for anyone who's looking to co-invest alongside someone. I would say I'd recommend talking with Sang and some of the other band members that participated. So great. Awesome. Well, you know what? I don't think Matthew's online yet. So Salar, we may jump ahead to you if you're ready to roll here. Matthew, I know I switched up the order a little bit. Matthew, are you with us from Hyperspectral? No, I think that's on me for changing up the order a little bit. So, but good news is I'm sure he'll be joining us in a moment. And Salar, I get a chance to introduce you first. So, just a little bit of quick background for those who might remember about it must have been 8 months ago now. Beginning part of the year, had the opportunity to participate as a judge in the largest direct-to-consumer pitch competition ever held, hosted by Sweater with some ventures and a handful of other funds to include Antler and gosh, the other names are escaping me right now, but it was a really fun event, and they narrowed down thousands of entrants, received hundreds of thousands or tens of thousands of votes to narrow down to 6 competitors, and Salar and SweatPals with his co-founder walked away as the winner. So a little bit about Salar. He is formerly a CEO of a Series A funded company that grew to 200 plus cities and then exited. One of the things that stood out to me about SweatPals was their early traction. At the time we selected them as the winner, they had just really scaled rapidly through Austin. Since then, they've attacked Miami as well, and they're now up to 23,000 users with 400 active communities. And I think we're knocking on the door of about 50 different fitness categories as well. So I think one way I think about it is, how are we all going to meet with each other and engage in the future where we're all becoming more and more disconnected, whether it was from COVID or being stuck on our computers. And frankly, a lot of us are just not made for heading to bars all the time anymore anyway. And I think these fitness communities are a real nice place to build community. And I think Salar's really tapped into something with his co-founders. And I'm really excited for him to share it with everybody, and excited that we're an investor and that you guys are going to have the chance to participate as well. So with that, Salar, do you want to take it away?
Awesome. Thanks, Garrett, for that very nice introduction. Garrett has been a great supporter and always giving us great feedback. So really excited to be here and share this with you guys today. And so I'm going to share my screen. So hi everyone, I'm Salar. Like Garrett said, I'm excited to present SweatPals to you and the version of the future we are envisioning with SweatPals. A very quick, short background on me, like Garrett said about my professional background, but personally, I grew up in Iran and I came to the US in 2012, and immediately I had a problem connecting with people, different culture, different language, different background, different sense of humor, everything was different, so it was very tough. But through running, through playing volleyball, through doing yoga, all of a sudden it was very easy. But when you go to a class, for instance, a yoga class, all of a sudden everyone goes home. So there's no opportunity to deepen that connection. On the other side of things, you have these clubs and groups and fitness communities that are happening everywhere, but there is no central platform for them. So that's where the idea came about. And my co-founder, Mandy, who grew up in China, she also found her belonging through these communities. So that's what sparked the idea that we started SweatPals a year and a half ago. So I'm going to start walking you through the problem and what we are solving and where we are. I want to preface it by saying every picture you see in this presentation is all from SweatPals. So from the communities, people who are posting on the platform. So hopefully it can capture some of the excitement that we are experiencing. So once we started working on this problem of building a central platform for fitness, similar to what we have seen in the corporate world for LinkedIn, we recognize that the reason that we don't have this platform already is because people who are behind these communities, these solopreneurs, whether it's an instructor doing yoga in the park, or whether it's a run club leader running their running group, or whether it's someone doing sound healing, they don't have one platform to run it. So it's a corner of the fitness industry which hasn't seen much innovation because they are not a gym or a studio necessarily. So they have to stitch together multiple platforms from emails and Instagram to find their members, do their marketing, then do something else for payment, some if they are doing paid events, and then something else for event management. And then you also, they generally have a WhatsApp group, Telegram group. So you are left with multiple platforms, and these admin duties, they take over 70% of their time. On the other side of it, people like me, like Mandy, who were looking for these communities, we can, it's not as ubiquitous as they could be, and it's not as central. And it's something that there's a huge need. Like Garrett said, 55% of millennials and Gen Z actually prefer these activities over social drinking. This is the fittest, most health conscious generation ever, and they are looking to bond over experiences that are healthy for us. But right now, if we talk about let's go out, the first thing is let's go to a bar, but we want this to be the first thing. And 3 in 4 Americans struggle with loneliness. It's a huge pandemic, and a lot of people, including a lot of my friends, they just gave up their favorite sport and activity because they moved or their friends moved. It was after college. There was no one to do it with. So with that said, we built SweatPals as a two-sided marketplace. So on one side, you have these fitness communities, whether it's pickleball, which is the fastest category on our platform, everyone's talking about it, to breathwork, aerobic dance, all of these different communities, they are running on one side. So it's a very like a commerce platform. On the other side, for users, is a very social experience. They come in, they are members of these communities, they discover each other, they discover other communities, and they have this a very nice network and flywheel that's built. In terms of our traction, we launched last October in Austin. And when we met Garrett, I think we had a few thousand users. Right now, we have 23,000 members on the platform. We launched in Miami last July. And we also recently, a few weeks ago, launched in Houston, which I haven't added to this, but we also have members in Houston. So these are our current cities, 23,000 on the app, 400 active communities. We don't count them unless they are active. 47 across 47 categories. We have everything from yoga to sound healing to golf, which is very popular, and all these other sports. And our retention is 55% around across all of our users and 87% among our community leaders. So it's very sticky. In terms of our users and what they share with us, I'm just going to share two of my favorites. One is Ellie, who is a breathwork community leader, one of our best community leaders, and she says she has essentially tripled her income since she joined SweatPals, and she was everywhere. She was on Facebook groups, Meetup, and all these other platforms. And on the other side, we have I want to read the last DM. This is my favorite one. We got this on Instagram, and that this person said, "I just want to say I love this app so much. It changed my life. I never has been so on and about in my community, connecting with like-minded individuals, and this has even inspired them to start their own business." In terms of the market that we are serving, so on one side, we have about 700,000 of these fitness community solopreneurs, and they are in these categories you see on the right that I will discuss in a moment. And we have 65 million people on the other side that they are serving or they can be serving. And so we have the communities that are grassroots groups. These are running clubs, cycling groups. A lot of them are free. There are just people getting together. They're not necessarily led by an instructor. They're led by someone who's very passionate about building community in fitness. Then you have trainers and specialty coaches. For them, it's more of a living. They're doing this to make a living, whether it's acro yoga, triathlon coaches, tennis. So for them, it's more of a business. And then we have pickup games and leagues. That's a huge market there. And then we have racing groups, 5K, 10Ks, people who are racing or training for a specific race. Just a few highlights on, Garrett talked about the pitch competition that we won a few months ago. And we're very happy to have Sun Ventures as one of our investors. We closed the syndicate from YPO, which if you're not familiar, is like a global top CEO club. So 7 CEOs invested as a group, and they looked into it. They were excited about it. So that was our pre-seed round. And then we have 34 active ambassadors. So these are our ambassadors in Austin and Miami. And we've had, you see the picture here, one engagement. We have lots of heard about different relationships that were formed from meeting on SweatPals. So it's quite heartwarming for us to see. In terms of our team, I talked about myself, Mandy, my co-founder, a very experienced product leader who has worked with Fortune 500 companies on building habit-forming products. Very excited to have her on board. And then we have a strong community team who have experience building community, working with brands, same with our marketing that are very, very good at making viral videos, I should say. And then we have our development team that I've worked with in my previous company as well. And our advisors, Jared, who has built Hotel Tonight and he sold it to Airbnb, so an expert on marketplaces. And then we have Fardad and Parham, which are our technical, and on the operations side, they also built a very successful marketplace in language learning. In terms of our business model, so far over the last year, we've focused really on building the right product, growing the users effectively, the communities effectively. However, we understand it's a business, so we haven't forgot about the business model. So our revenue channels have been transaction fees through the payments that are happening on the platform, as well as brand partnerships. So we've generated 85K since we only activated in February the payments, so this hasn't been that long. We project with the same rate, we're going to generate 750 in 2024. And in the future, we also see a revenue stream with subscriptions. So we want it to be subscription-led for our larger communities that are very active. We have few communities that have thousands of members, so they can definitely, unlock more features with subscription. We are in the process of raising our seed round, 2.5 million. We've raised so far 950K, which got it this far. And our goal is to reach to 50,000 active communities, 1.5 million users. The product is there, that we know what we're building. So we are at the point where we want to aggressively grow this and reach 2.5 million in annual revenue, expand to 15 new cities, and which we picked based on what we learned so far from our current cities, and also launch subscription, and as well as what we call SweatPals wallet, which I can get into more detail. And last thing I would say is the world we envision is right now, if you want to stream a comedy movie, or if you want to craving sushi, they're all at your door right away if you want a cab. But if you want to go play sports, if you want to meet some people for acro yoga, if you want to, it's so hard to do if you want to do it at, let's say, 4 p.m. on a Wednesday. So we want it to be so ubiquitous that at any point, just as easily as ordering your Uber, you can go out and meet people to enjoy your favorite fitness and meet people through that. So thanks very much for listening, and happy to answer any questions.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna chime in with the first one because I want to hear more about the wallet. I think I need to learn more about this upcoming functionality.
Yeah, absolutely. So the wallet is, because we are doing so many transactions, but we want it to happen on the platform so people win points. So they win points and then they can keep the money in the wallet. So there's not as many Stripe transactions. So it's going to save us some of those transaction fees, as well as helping us lower our fees. And then people can have a point system, which they can keep it in the wallet, kind of like what Starbucks is doing. They have you charge the wallet, so they have the funds there. So it's going to help us lower the costs for our users and also gamify it a little bit.
Got it. Other questions from the group? Well, while everyone ponders, I will ask one more and hopefully get one question out of this tight-lipped group. There are a lot of lessons learned when you're scaling from you got real deep penetration in Austin and then going all the way over to Miami. Can you share sort of what some of the lessons learned have been as you've grown from city to city that you're going to apply as you continue to scale across the country?
Yeah, absolutely. So one thing we learned is we definitely need to spend a few weeks on research, because each market is different. We went into Miami thinking it's the same. It's very different. In Austin, it's very community-based. It's very, you do what you like, wear whatever, do what, but in Miami, it's very about the person who's leading it. So the marketing is very different. It should be about the person more. It's more aesthetic in terms of how they care about the branding and marketing. In Austin, is more about being inclusive. Not that any of them is better, but so doing that research was important, figuring out which sports and categories are more popular to build the initial network, so that in Austin it was something else. In Miami it was, paddle is huge in Miami. In Austin is pickleball, for instance. So figuring out what works, and then getting and it was a lot of learning because we live in Austin. So in Miami we weren't there. So we had to figure out what's the field marketing that needs to take place when we are not there. so which was also very important.
Got it.
Yeah.
Any other questions from the group, or you can drop the questions in the chat too if you don't want to speak up.
Salar, I'm just wondering, how much does it cost to get into a new city in terms of money, people, like resources?
Yeah, that's a very good. I'm trying to pull it up because that's we estimated. So in terms of, it depends on size of the city, but we estimated just, yeah. So it takes about depending on the size, about 30K to 85K. So if let's say we are going to somewhere like New York or somewhere that is not easy, transportation is not easy, that's another story. So that's on the higher end, but lower end is like 30K. And it takes 4 steps for us, from pre-launch, soft launch, launch, and starts with field marketing, and then having the field person, and then setting up some of the events, sponsoring some of the communities, moving them over to the platform. And once the initial network is built, then start the launch, starting more of the digital campaigns, and then get into the main launch. And it takes, once we have 20 events per day, we consider that active, because that's when we see communities just activating on their own and new people popping up on their own.
So roughly how many communities do you have to have set up in order to do 20 events a day? Because I would imagine communities aren't doing an event every day. So what does that translate to?
Yeah, it usually translates to about 90 communities in order to get there. Yeah.
Okay, got it. Hey, well, I encourage you to please stick around because there might be some additional direct message questions in the chat. And Matt, I know you are the next full presenter up next, but I did skip over Chris accidentally and Justin. And Chris, why don't you just give an intro, and then we'll hand the floor over to Justin. This is again one of our coming soons that I accidentally skipped over here for next month. So Chris Clifford, you want to go for it?
I'll keep it super brief so Justin can have the floor. I'm an angel investor. I've run a venture studio in LA for about a decade. We do a lot of product, staffing, and digital marketing for high tech and high growth startups. Justin is a portfolio founder that I was connected with. He's based in Europe, disruptive music tech, and someone I'm very impressed with, and somebody that I introduced Garrett to last week. So the floor is all yours.
Yeah, great. Thank you, Chris. And thank you very much, Garrett, for inviting me in this evening. It's very, very nice to meet everyone here very briefly. I'm Justin Michael Lavallee, and I'm one of the co-founders and the CEO of a company called Freak. We're based in Berlin. I'm originally from Los Angeles and New York, and I've been a composer my entire life. I've worked on movies ranging from Hotel Transylvania to Inuk, which competed for Best Foreign Picture in the 85th Academy Awards. I was educated at Juilliard and Princeton and the Curtis Institute and Manhattan School of Music. And 8 years ago, I relocated to Berlin, and I built a company there doing custom soundtracks for film, television, and advertising. And then 3 years ago, my partner and I, coming from film, co-founded Freak with 2 technical co-founders. We have built first to market collaboration technology for the film and the music industry that allows for the review, revision, approval process for every asset that goes into a film, a TV show, a commercial, what have you. And we combine that we combine that with an aggregation of content catalogs, music, and stock footage into an AI-driven marketplace. So we're building AI that recommends similar content to what people are viewing or listening to. The business model is SaaS and a marketplace. We have an amazing team and amazing investors. One of our first investors was Scott Chacon, who co-founded GitHub. We also have Oscar-nominated investors in Los Angeles, like Gregory King. In-house, our head of music business and legal used to run that for Disney, and after that, she did it for Hans Zimmer. And among people on our senior advisory board is the former president of Sony Music. We're in the market in Europe. Early market entry. We're entering the market now in the United States. We have early traction with Netflix and with Apple. And we've raised 1.5 million to date. We're bringing in another 1.5 million right now, about half of which is already committed.
Oh, I tell you what, I think that you could have gotten through 10 slides with that. That was impressive, Justin. You know your your stuff, man. Really enjoyed meeting you the other night for dinner. Thank you so much, Chris, for bringing us together, and I really look forward to getting the longer form pitch here next month. In the interim, as I suggested for luxury travel hackers for Gary, let's make sure we get your deck over to Hunter so he can share it with the group in advance of next month's meeting. And if anyone's interested in reaching out directly, please leave your contact info in the chat boxes or chat window as well. So thank you so much for making the time to join us tonight.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Garrett.
Garrett. Appreciate you.
I think we just had Harry Hopper jump on. I was going to make the intro here for Matt with CEO of Hyperspectral, a company I'm really excited to see present this evening. I'll share that one of the I think as many of you know, one of the people I trust the most when it comes to product and the future of AI is Elizabeth Spears. She's been just a go-to friend and trusted resource for a decade now. When she and Harry suggested that we speak with Hyperspectral, I jumped at the opportunity, and I was really thoroughly impressed with Matt. I am not going to try and explain everything that Matt and his team have built. It is above my pay grade to a certain degree, but what I will say is I do, as many of you know, spend a lot of time surrounding myself with people who are far smarter and more technical than I am, and they have signed off on this technology, and what Matt seems to be is at a real nice inflection point, having a little bit of room left in his seed round with a Series A right on the horizon. And I'm excited that our friends from Siemens can join to hear this presentation this evening as well. And Harry, if you want to add anything on before we hand the floor over to Matt, or if you're just going to be around for questions, I'll leave it to you to chime in right now if you want to. Otherwise, we'll hand the floor over to Matt to take away the presentation.
Garrett, I have to jump into a meeting with some executives up here in Seattle, but what I will say is that the Hyperspectral team represents, seasoned and very talented people from a number of disciplines that brought together allow this solution to be executed now. And it sort of takes instruments that can gather spectral data, and it takes AI to extract inferences out of that. And the problems we've created for ourselves and the planet are begging for more information faster, cheaper, and sooner. And I know Matt will do a great job explaining that. And I'm going to sign off. So enjoy.
Yeah, well, I appreciate you joining us. You join us briefly there, Harry, and I'll be able to brag about your background when you're off the call. So, Matt, why don't you take it away?
Oh, thank you very much. So, good evening, everyone. My name is Matt Theurer. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Hyperspectral, and we are focused on making the invisible visible by illuminating invisible threats to protect people and the planet. So, we were inspired by the growing number and severity of pandemics, antibiotic-resistant bacteria, foodborne illness outbreaks, and global warming. So we put together an experienced multidisciplinary team to try to help solve these problems. I'm going to take you through the problem, our solution, our team, business approach, traction, and our ask. The health of people and the planet have really emerged as critical issues. We hold organizations across a wide range of industries accountable for ensuring that their products and processes are safe. But the current methods for detection and quantification of contaminants are inadequate. They're slow, they're analog, and quite frankly, they're expensive. We created Spec AI, the world's first spectral intelligence platform. It is a hardware-agnostic tech platform that fuses artificial intelligence with spectral data. And we use frequencies from the ultraviolet well into the infrared, combine that with artificial intelligence to analyze the spectral response of substances to identify one or more contaminants, such as bacteria, viruses, greenhouse gases. And we pinpoint these threats in extremely minute quantities early in their life cycle before they cause issues. And this technology is applicable across a wide range of industries and use cases. So we built these commercially applicable AI models to harness this vast amount of new data but it provides innumerable benefits to our customers, including accuracy equivalent to the current gold standards, such as PCR, in near real time at a significantly lower cost and in an all digital format, allowing us to build a data library and to reuse that data for multiple purposes. Crossing so many scientific and technological boundaries requires a strong multidisciplinary team with technical skills, entrepreneurial experience, as well as strategic and financial discipline. The team that we've built here at Hyperspectral meets and exceeds all of these criteria. Two of us co-founded a cloud computing unicorn that exited in 2015. We've deep experience in enterprise software development, spectral sensors and data, medical experience, including leveraging artificial intelligence for software as a medical device. In fact, my chief medical officer wrote the standard used by the FDA to approve artificial intelligence in use in a medical device. We've run microbiological testing labs and government contracting organizations. While the Spec AI platform is horizontal in nature, with use cases across many industries, Hyperspectral has chosen to focus on 3 initial markets, each of which has a TAM-SAM measured in the billions: food safety, environmental science, and medical diagnostics. Food safety and medical diagnostics are actually quite closely related to each other in their methodologies. In fact, you're often looking for the same organisms. E. coli comes to mind. It's present in food, obviously is a foodborne illness. It also is present in wounds, quite often in an antibiotic-resistant form. The medical diagnostics, of course, requires FDA approval, which is a process in which we've already engaged. And we partnered with Arizona State University to implement our tech platform behind their thermal emission spectrometer, which is a device that's currently in orbit around Mars, but we're using it here on Earth to detect and quantify greenhouse gases such as methane and ethane. To date, we've really focused on technological and business proof points. Our blind studies on listeria were conducted at the Safe Food Alliance in the Central Valley in California, resulted in an outstanding 100% accuracy in identifying listeria with a 94% accuracy in differentiating between strains of listeria, something which is quite often done using gene sequencing. For medical use cases, a blind study was performed at Case Western Reserve University, and our technology was, again, 100% accurate in identifying and differentiating between Pseudomonas aeruginosa and Staphylococcus aureus, 2 dangerous bacteria which quite often are antibiotic resistant, requiring rapid identification and precise treatment. And we've developed key partnerships in the food ecosystem, including testing labs, and we're currently validating the technology at some food producers in the Central Valley in California. We've engaged the federal government for non-dilutive funding and are currently in collaboration with a major tech company based in the Northwest to implement our technology behind their augmented reality goggle system. Spec AI, I want to point out, is hardware agnostic, and it allows us to adapt our platform across many different data acquisition devices and use cases. We've applied for 15 patents so far on the use of ML and AI in processing spectral data, and we have a 16th being drafted. And this flexibility is the key to our value prop, because whether it's a point of care solution in the medical or food world, to long distant remote sensing, and everything in between, our technology is applicable. We're on track to generate 4.6 million of revenue in 2024. In fact, we have multiple ways to achieve that target. We've identified over $30 million in pipeline to date and feel that by 2028, we can be close to $100 million in revenue. We are currently raising a $3 million safe round with $2.5 million already allocated and received. And based on the traction and conversations with a stable of VC firms, we're moving to close our Series A here in November or December. We'll be using these funds to expand the team, make key hires, fully commercialize our listeria test with rapidly adding on additional food safety pathogens such as Salmonella, E. coli, and Enterobacter, as well as pursue our FDA approval. So, thank you very much for the time. I'd love to have you all on the Hyperspectral team, and please ask any questions you want to reach out to me and help us let Hyperspectral keep all of us safe. So.
Well, thank you so much for the presentation, Matt. Would anyone like to jump in with the first question here? Well, while you guys think of a first question, I'll share just a little bit of additional background on Harry, who joined us right before Matt started his presentation. Harry Hopper's founder right now of Mobile Financial Partners, is one of the lead investors through the first couple of years of Hyperspectral, and was a GP of I believe 5 different vintages of venture funds over the years, and has taken numerous companies public. So his endorsement and backing of Hyperspectral is pretty substantive, and obviously I think the opportunity it's a lot to wrap our collective minds around. At least for me it is, but at the same time the team here is certainly credible, and they've demonstrated track record. I think that the question that I have, Matt, and maybe you could expand on for the group, is when dealing with some of these detection tests, you have long periods sometimes with the FDA and others. Can you talk about how you're narrowing your focus onto which tests to run to create initially along your product roadmap to have the fastest path to market?
Sure, that's a great question. So again, as I mentioned earlier, the food safety and medical diagnostics are actually quite closely related. As I said, you're often looking for the same pathogens. The food safety world, on the other, as opposed to the medical device world, is very lightly regulated. In fact, most of the standards for testing for food contamination are actually industry standards as opposed to government standards. So that's one of the reasons why we chose to go to the food route, to very, very fast track to market. But a lot of the data that we gather actually supports the mission for medical diagnostics as well. In terms of choosing which particular pathogens to go after, we looked at all the recall data to identify the most common ones, and they happen to be Listeria, E. coli, and Salmonella. In fact, there have been 2 Listeria recalls this week alone. One in frozen meatballs and another one in frozen burritos. We're talking, hundreds of thousands of units of product that are being recalled, as we speak here on the phone. And one of the beauties of this technology is because we're basically taking a spectral response of whatever substance it is we're looking at, whether it's a swab of food processing equipment or the food itself. Is that I can simultaneously look for multiple spectral responses or spectral signatures simultaneously. So I can simultaneously test for E. coli, Listeria, Salmonella all at once, as opposed to having doing separate tests. Current methodologies take 2 to 5 days to test for the presence of these, because they'll have to take a swab, culture it, grow it, test it. If you've got, over a weekend, it sits in the lab. So food loses shelf life, or it sits there, or it's released and then recalled. We typically turn a result back once we have the sample. We can turn a result back in seconds or minutes. The typical processing time of our model to run inference is about 20 milliseconds. So we have to.
We have additional questions for you here, so I want to make sure that we're getting into one question popped up in the chat. What are the top 2 reasons why you are lower cost than the competitors or current processes?
We are lower cost because I don't require any of the chemical reagents or microbiological processes. This is quite simply a spectral response. The equipment that we use, and we are hardware agnostic, but the ones that we've worked with, the devices, might be $8,000 to $10,000, 3-year lifespan across thousands of tests. The hardware cost is negligible. You're basically talking about the cost of a swab, some data transmission time, and inferencing time, as opposed to growing bacteria in a broth and then processing it in the PCR process. So significantly faster, significantly cheaper.
Okay, I think there might be a little confusion with this question, or I'm potentially the one confused, but my understanding is that there's 2.5 million out of the 3 that you've already closed. There's 500,000 left, but you're already in discussions on a larger Series A raise that you expect to close within the next 60 days. Is that correct?
Things have been moving very, very ask for us.
Okay, and then I think to reframe Nachi's question, I only know that because we had a chance to speak before this event. I can see where the confusion was in the presentation. Where does the next Series A get you to? What are the next major milestones that the next chunk of funding gets you to? And yeah, you elaborate on those.
Right. So the next chunk of funding, if you were to combine this 500 plus the Series A, gets us well through into 2025. It gets us commercialized with multiple food tests and gets us through, has a reasonably good chance of getting us all the way through the FDA process with the first tests that would be approved for use in humans. And what we're looking for there are antibiotic resistant bacteria, specifically the antibiotic resistance ones, which there's a significant use case for that, especially in hospital settings.
So again, in the event that you're not able to get through that testing, in your view, is there still an exitable business just with Listeria and with some of the other cases that you've already validated?
Absolutely. As again, the food safety use case alone is, I mean, the TAM at SAM is multiple billions of dollars. I will say this: the very large tech company that we are engaged with to augment to provide solutions for their augmented reality goggles has applications both for defense as well as in heavy industries. Think of a soldier being able to identify weaponized anthrax or VX or sarin nerve gas, or a first responder being able to, as they're entering a burning home, being able to identify whether there's methane or more likely propane or natural gas leaking, or think of a oil and gas worker or a chemical plant worker being able to detect and identify the leaks of volatile organic compounds, hydrogen sulfide or other gases, on the fly while they're working.
Okay, well, I think we're gonna have one last question here, and then if there is one, actually, you know what? I'm sorry, Matt. I forgot that you started actually more than 20 minutes ago. So out of respect for our next presenters, we're gonna invite you to stick around and answer questions on the chat, and definitely a lot of material to cover in a short period of time. So really appreciate you making it happen for us, and please also share your contact info with the group. Now, everyone gets a much needed reprieve from hearing me talk. We're going to pass it over to Kevin Herzberg to make the next intro for a company that I'm really excited to present called Phlex. I got to hear this through the Pasadena Angels, but I do not want to steal Kevin's thunder because he's been championing this opportunity. So Kevin, why don't you take it away?
Thanks, Garrett. Hi, everybody. As Garrett mentioned, I'm with Pasadena Angels. And I happen to be leading this deal for our group. Have met with Marcin and his team several times to dive into his swim technology platform. And I've learned a lot about swimming, and I've learned a lot about his technology. And it turns out that my wife is also a very avid Ironman triathlete, and she's been my test person for it, and pretty hard to impress, but she's been very impressed with the tracking that's come out of Phlex, and in fact had one of her fastest times the last couple of weeks, and does attribute that in large part to the Phlex platform and the insights that she's getting from the tracking. The Phlex team themselves are avid swimmers, and I don't want to steal too much of Marcin's thunder, but they compete at the highest levels. In fact, one of Marcin's co-founders is probably going to be heading to the Olympics in Paris next summer. That being said, they are also just really great citizens. They know their sport really well. They understand the business. It's been a pleasure working with them so far. we're still going through our due diligence, but I'm excited to see how far we can go with them. And without further ado, I'll turn it over to Marcin.
Thank you so much, Kevin. Very nice to see you.
You too.
Yeah, and nice to see all of you as well. Yeah, I'll jump into it. My name is Marcin. I'm a former Olympic swimmer and the CEO of Phlex. And what we built at Phlex is a full technology stack for swimming. Oop. So there's really three big fitness sports in the world, them being running, cycling, and swimming. And in the first two, running and cycling, we've seen a lot of innovation and large companies being built with the use of technology. And cycling with companies like Strava, Zwift, both unicorn companies, and running, pretty much every large sports brand has a running app and a large community behind it. And swimming with 200 million regular participants hasn't seen that type of innovation. And that's largely due to the difficulty of tracking the sport. If you think of running and cycling, all you need is a GPS sensor, a timer, maybe a heart rate, chest strap, and that's really all of your activity. With swimming, you have different strokes, different pool lengths, you have open water swimming, different techniques and breathing patterns. It's when you look at the data from the swimming, you can really use the GPS sensor. And when you look at the vector data from the wearable sensors, it's really complex. So it's a lot of noise, and it's difficult to create a model that understands the sport well. But swimming is enjoyed by over 200 million people regularly. It has fast health and longevity benefits. It's the most recommended activity by doctors and really for people at all ages. And unlike running and cycling, it can actually be practiced all year round. So it's not seasonal. It's the participation in the summer is actually just as high as it is in winter, is just as high as it is in the summer months. So what is the problem that a lot of swimmers face? So swimming is a sport that it's difficult to practice.
Sorry for interrupting here, but the slides aren't advancing. If it's showing it, the slides advancing on your side, we're not seeing.
You're not seeing the problem slide?
We're seeing the home slide right now.
Oh. Let me go back. Sorry about that.
No problem. Not the first time it's happened. It won't be the last. But want to call it out.
Let me know if that works now.
Yeah, this works. Look at that. We're in business.
Perfect. So I was just covering this slide. Yeah. So the problems that swimmers face are, given that it's a very complex sport. When you swim, you splash around. You don't really see yourself doing the sport. There's just so much going on, and it's difficult to understand if you're doing it correctly. So because of that, it's good to practice with a coach that has a set of eyes, observes your technique, observes your measures your time, and ultimately has the insights onto your performance. But access to coaches is frequently really expensive. A coach can cost up to $100 per 1 hour per 1 hour session. If you practice 2-3 times per week, it becomes really expensive. So our mission statement is to bring swimming to the people. It's to democratize the access to swimming, and just really make it available to people at all ages and backgrounds. There's two markets that we serve, and we are on the market, and we have customers from both of those markets. There's the competitive swimmers. There's 220 million of them, and they use the data in order to train more efficiently with the goal of winning big competitions. And then you have the amateur swimmers and avid swimmers that train for fitness. Sometimes they have athletic goals like competing in a triathlon like Amy, Kevin's wife, or and then send it back to their mobile phones. We are completely hardware agnostic, so we work with all of the wearables. The goal for us is to integrate with all major wearables in the world. So this is what a product looks like. At the core, there's a set of AI algorithms, and we train the algorithms on thousands of swimmers. And through the process of going to swim workouts, putting sensors on swimmers, videotaping the entire session, and then labeling the data, which was then used to create a model that understands swimming so well. So if you look here at the screen, there's an actual workout from the Phlex app. where the algorithm understands exactly the structure of the workout. So there are repetitions of 200s. There's a 200 swam by the swimmer, then 10 100s, 450s. So the algorithm understands exactly when the swimmer stops, what the set is. So the AI is really clever with understanding the structure of workouts. So that is a workout, but then we, of course, collect data like heart rate, training effect, and time spent in different training zones. So how swimmers develop their endurance capacity and so on. We also monitor training load, so the difficulty of sessions, so swimmers don't overtrain or get injured. We have a vast list of technique metrics that we track and show to swimmers, and it's really, it's really feature packed, but those are the highlights for how the technology works. So the benefit that we bring to swimmer is we make it more accessible. Swimmers can gain the insights and the swimming knowledge at a lower cost using wearable sensors, not always having to use a coach. It's a great motivating system on top of the the dopamine rush you get after you see the data, the validation of your hard work. There's also community features that we're building into the platform that bring people closer together, have them interact with their peers, swimmers that they engage with on a daily basis, and just really make the experience more enjoyable. We educate swimmers, so we track we track all of the data with high accuracy, and we spot weaknesses in swimmers' technique. Then we can pair that with drill videos and technique tips that have them enhance their swimming. And all of that comes to reaching the goals faster and making swimming even more enjoyable for all these swimmers. The business model, like I mentioned, there's 3 customer groups that we have. We have the swimmers, and we charge them $90 per year or $8.99 per month. We have a team platform, which is used by is actually on the market and used by 10 D1 programs in the US right now, and we charge $90 per year per swimmer. And then we have the algorithm as a service, and we're piloting the first customer, which is Chorus, and we're looking to charge a $400,000 licensing fee per year and some algorithm servicing cost. So the growth trajectory is really simple. So we started with the first integration. We have a partnership with Polar, a major wearable developer, where we co-sell and co-market a product called the Polar VertiSense, and we're already getting $35,000 in monthly revenue, and that's for the past 3 months. And that's really the very beginning for us. This is the smallest integration we're doing. We decided to start with the Polar device because of the low cost of the device. It's only $60 to acquire the sensor. In the pipeline, we are already actually next week we're launching an Apple Watch integration, and Apple Watch is known for the lack of a good swimming product, and then 2 months behind trailing their Android watches. And then we're in talks with a few additional partners like Whoop or Garmin on implementing their wearables into the platform. So the idea is we are bringing in all of the data from all of the wearables, right? If there's a swimmer that uses any popular wearable, that can be a part of the Phlex platform, and in the platform they gain access to guidance, personalized training plans, community features, right? So we are creating this hub for swimming that is based on our algorithms. So this is actual data from the past 4 months on the market. We're growing 30% month to month. Our customer acquisition cost is $19. Churn rate is 3%. So the product is really, really sticky. Our revenue in September was $35,000, and we're looking to repeat that again in October. So on the roadmap, we've launched a partnership with Polar. We developed a set of AI algorithms for wrist devices and head-based devices, and we launched our first set of mobile apps for swimmers and apps for coaches. Later in 2023, we're launching Apple Watch app and Android Watch app. We are finalizing the terms and the technology for the enterprise licensing, as well as creating our AI coach feature. And then in 2023, it's more support for watches, where there'll be training plans on the watch, there'll be virtual community features and virtual swimming competitions. So investing a lot in the community in 2024. Go to market. So outside of doing the classical marketing with performance marketing and digital ads, we actually have two really cool ways of reaching customers. So we took the approach of building the technology together with the leaders of the swimming community. We partnered up with the best athletes in the world, the content creators, educators, just influential figures in the swimming world. And we not only built the product with them, but we also partnered on educating people on the benefits of swimming, on the benefits of using technology, being a part of a community, and really enhancing the swimming experience. So we create content together, we push it out to the communities of our ambassadors, and work together on spreading the word about the Phlex technology. And that has been a really successful way of us reaching our customers. This is only a really marketing effort that we do right now. So the revenue, $35,000, was reached with only $2,000 in marketing spent. So we haven't really spent money on ads yet. We are planning on doing that, but so far we've been getting a lot of virality from just working with these athletes. We even have customers create videos about the product themselves. So the second way of us entering the market is brand partnerships. And there's really a long list of companies that we work with or have interest from, to start with FINA, which is the world governing body for swimming. It's like FIFA or NBA for swimming. We partner up with them on two projects. The first one being an educational product for coaches and athletes, spreading the benefits of using the technology in preventing injuries, in enhancing performance, and maximizing the potential of athletes. We have a partnership with Polar, which is a marketing partnership. Polar sends newsletters and creates social media posts about Phlex. So really impressed by the Phlex tracking technology, really wants to be a part of it. And there's two big swimwear brands, two biggest in the world, Arena and Speedo, which we're actively talking to about the partnership. And Arena is interested in an acquisition or even participating in this round. And we're in advanced conversations with them. I actually have a slide about it. So I took a trip to Italy. I was invited by the board of Arena 2 weeks ago. And at the meeting, and after the meetings, we had a set of conversations about Arena's participation in the technology, swimming technology world. And at the meetings, they made it clear that they think the time is right now. They want to get into the technology in swimming. We are negotiating the terms. We will likely receive an investment from them, either for this round or the next round. They're really interested in acquiring shares in Phlex. But I think that is a short-term plan for our partnership with Arena is making Arena a super distributor. Arena sells 15 million units of their products annually, and they proposed entering a QR code into every product that they sell, which could potentially activate millions and millions of customers for Phlex every year. On top of that, they work with the best athletes in the world and have access to thousands of teams and coaches.
Marcin, we gotta wrap it up now. We're a little over.
Okay, yeah, this is a really nice. Yeah, this is the last slide.
Go for it.
Yeah, lots of success stories. We've had Olympians train with the technology, winning Olympic medals. We had people getting back from injuries. So there's an inflow of cool stories from our customers, and it just validates the strong product market fit. And the App Store review is 4.9 stars. So it's good to see the positive feedback. Thank you, guys. Sorry for going over time.
No, you're fine. Hey, I tell you what, if you're going to go over, make it entertaining, and you did. So there you go. So a couple questions from me first. 4.9 stars. How many reviews do you have on the App Store right now?
We have around. I actually haven't checked in a while. It's probably around 50 or 60. I would have to check.
So yeah, it leads to the next follow-on question. So the customer acquisition cost of $19, this is early days right now. These things typically rise at scale. What do you realistically anticipate, in a year or two when you're onboarding thousands of users a month, your customer acquisition cost?
Yeah, so actually just a few weeks ago, we did this deep dive into the market data, actual data from the past 4 months, looking at the churn rate, how many people leave the platform every month. And then based on that, we calculated lifetime value of a customer based on the marketing budgets and the amount of customers we acquired each month. We calculated the customer acquisition cost. So the LTV is actually at $250 with a 3% churn, which is, the product is extremely sticky. So we can afford to pay up to $50-$60 to acquire a customer and still have the ratio around 1 to 5, which is still really, really strong. So we do anticipate some seasonality. I think, frequently in the fitness world, you have months like January and February being extremely attractive for selling fitness product, and the CAC really usually drops. Then summer months might be a bit lower as well, but I think it's a good start to have, and definitely partnerships with brands like Arena could lower the CAC and speed up the scaling of the business.
So as a last question for me, and then for the group, as far as like a partnership with an Arena, is anyone also looking at sort of integrating within the platform for the swim teams, and as the training's going on, offering products or things to augment the training, or is that something you've considered, or how are the partners thinking about working with you as you continue to scale?
So Arena's main objective for using technology is community. They have millions and millions of customers, and why they approached us was they thought they were missing a way of engaging with those people, and them and those customers engaging with each other. So, and technology is a great way of bringing people together. You can create a local club where you have leaderboards for the team or the people that you swim with. You can have, and that's actually a feature that we're building, virtual world championships, where you can go to any pool in your local area with any wearable and then compete in the global event, which then you see a leaderboard for your age group, where you placed in the particular event, right? So that is the motivating factor for Arena, using technology to create a community and engage with the community, and ultimately sell more product to those people.
Awesome. Other questions from the group? We got time for like 1 or 2 more. Shoot, I could keep going with questions here for a while. I find this part really fascinating. What have you seen from, and I guess I'm not a swimmer. I know that they have teams, but I always thought of it as a more of a solitary sport, I guess. From a viral coefficient standpoint, you're seeing that have you measured for each new user you're getting how many users they're sharing it with, or are they competing against each other as well? And what kind of data are you collecting on that front?
So we don't have any features that yet. We haven't developed any features that offer competitions between the users, but that is a goal, and we are building them actively. So I think a lot of the sales, given the small marketing budget, there's definitely a lot of word of mouth exposure that we're getting from current customers. We frequently see where we penetrate a group of swimmers within a city, and then we see sales coming from the same zip code, 5 or 10 more sales. So there's definitely a lot of recommendations, and I think that the numbers speak for themselves. The marketing budget and the revenues that come from the product.
Yeah, you've done a great job. One last question for me, at least. What's harder, making it to the Olympics or building a startup?
I'd say it's probably building a startup.
Oh, that's yeah. Well,
kudos to all the presenters. It is really tough.
All right. Hey, I just I really appreciate your time. Incredibly impressive what you've accomplished so far. Look forward to following up with you for both the band and Pasadena Angels. I'm sure, and I'm sure there's a TCA member in here somewhere that'll also jump in if they get the chance. So, all right, thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Okay, I think we're provided my computer continues to work here. I'm looking for Andrew. There, I found him. I got we got a treat here to close things up tonight because Andrew's going to bring the energy. I know it. Andrew's got an introduction through Andrew through actually someone who's worked with startups for decades and was actually my first attorney was Scott Alderton, Stubbs Alderton. They run a pre-accelerator out of Santa Monica. Scott's been an investor and a startup attorney for, like I said, for decades. And when he doesn't often send me interesting opportunities, but he not only sent me Andrew, but he said he invested as well. And he was pretty excited about the future of what Andrew was building with video wallpaper. And we're really I'm gonna hand it over to him because he's gonna do a much better job of explaining this what the future of our living rooms and look like in the future here soon. So Andrew, why don't you take it away?
Thank you, and I just want to say that I scripted this because I'm trying to keep within the time frame. So save your questions for last unless you want me to flounder in front of you, which is okay too. All right, so let's go ahead, and I think you're sharing sharing my video now. Yep. Okay. Okay, I'm going to start out really quickly because we just got a great ad to our board of directors, a woman named Jerry Wang, who was the former president of ABC Ad Sales. As we get through this product, you'll see how important that is. I have another magical possibility who formerly ran Comcast NBC, but we're trying to build a board that can really open the doors for what we're about to do.
Andrew, I hate to throw you a curveball at the gate. I'll extend your time, but the slides are pretty small in this view. If you could go from presenter to view full slideshow, I think that'd be helpful for the group.
Thank you for sharing. Yeah. Sorry about that. I can see it. How's that? Full screen?
Yeah, it's perfect. Thanks.
Okay. I'm about to show you some new technology, which I believe will one day be a part of human existence moving forward. We've been extremely successful at creating new technologies. Our inventions have forever changed each field of use we pioneered, preceding all others in time. For more than 40 years, we have consistently created technology that is the industry standard, remaining in the mainstream to this very instant. Please click on our video resume link in your email to see the proof. Most recently, we invented AI pixel recognition, allowing users to interact with specific objects in video rather than large, oversized hotspots. Curve Interactive, the company I last founded, is now the leader in interactive advertising in the world, with investors now looking at an exit of $250 million or more. Our new technology, Virtual Video Environment Display System, or VE, is a never-before-seen immersive multimedia interactive experience controlled with the touch of a finger or the sound of your voice. However, before we can have video wallpaper, we had to invent a video wall gateway technology that can evolve in real time with changing technologies. We created video walls as home entertainment centers that can change the way you feel and much more. As we predicted years ago, video walls have now become part of a major commercial effort by the likes of Samsung, Sony, and LG. But they're just building bigger and bigger TVs. We're building the forever video wall home entertainment center, capable of displaying multiple video source overlays over unlimited resolution immersive backgrounds we call environments, and you can edit music to those backgrounds the tap of a finger. Our past experience has been essential in creating a user interface, which is simple to operate either on the wall or on your phone, allowing access to an ever-growing array of video content features. Since the competition has no extended features beyond simple TV, we have an enormous lead. Our system uses whatever the superior tech is and can be upgraded to adapt to new technology as it changes. This ensures state-of-the-art energy efficiency. Unlike the big manufacturers who just build TVs the size they choose, our technology looks at the average size of homes, and then we created our products to fit those spaces. We have a 150-inch interactive video wall for large rooms like the living room, and slightly smaller 133 for family rooms and dens, and a 199-inch that goes just about anywhere in the home. All of them packed with patented entertainment features. We have tried to go where the puck is going, not where the puck is, to quote the great Wayne Gretzky. So here's how that visionary planning looks. Our first prototype, using existing technology from 6 years ago, had thick bezels. See those black lines? As predicted, they thinned out 2 years ago for prototype 2. Notice the thinner bezels. The model we're currently taking to market uses the new Samsung 8K bezel-less monitors, creating only very slight lines. As our game plan plays out with astounding accuracy, now waiting in the wings is technology that completely eliminates lines and is seamless. This product expected to be ready by 2025. We've designed a lightweight frame that adapts to any home's walls. The system is capable of being shipped and installed with little or no fuss, and the structure remains consistent. What makes our interactive video walls so special are the patented features that are unique to the industry today. The VE wall can display any resolution, 4K, 8K, 12K, all the way through 16K, the resolution of the human eye. I've been somewhat repetitive about resolution. That's because if a video wall is to live in your home, it must have the very best resolution. The 4K walls of the competition are blurry and pixelized when you get up close. The industry stops at 4 or 8K video today because there's no way to display anything better. With the advancement of AI, which we plan to integrate into our system, video resolution issues will soon become a thing of the past, which is unfortunately where the manufacturers of today will be stuck for possibly decades. Our patented technology offers high-res overlays that function as separate video entities. The foreground can be 4K and the background 12K. Doesn't matter. Playback and store very high resolution and AI upgraded videos, as well as display live video overlays in real time. We use an off-the-shelf microcomputer called the Orin NVIDIA. The Orin is primarily used for gaming and AI today. VE can accommodate architectural spaces by using different size divisible panels, which enables our technology to fit around doors and windows and fireplaces, etc. Our patent includes the use of gaming technology called ray tracing. Ray tracing creates new pixels to display the fiery reflections seen here. These new ray trace pixels are used to prevent the black box effect in current video walls and enable full screen display on odd-sized walls. Just as in our futuristic video wallpaper, our video wall is interactive, controlled by phone, tablet, voice, and what has turned out to be the coolest of all things, drawing video sources on the wall. You could have 2 sports events in 2 different screens, or a large movie with 2 smaller screens of stocks and emails. I believe we've shown we have a clear technology roadmap. As pioneers in video walls as an entertainment center, we've set out to build our product from the future video wallpaper back to the present video walls. We've allowed for technological improvements to come. If there's a worldwide market to be made, it must include the US. My experience says from the US, you get Europe and Australia, and that's a business. By establishing a superior product, we are the product of choice. The cost of our system will always be coming down as video display costs come down. 10 years ago, a 4K TV was $5,000, and today you can get one for $300. Our very logical approach to the technology revolution allows us to always offer the most affordable interactive video wall solution. Instead of every day or new video wall becoming more obsolete, I call it inherent obsolescence, we built a system that can change as technology changes without tearing everything up and starting anew. We have a brand and distinct niche, patented features that make a video wall a home entertainment center. While laborious, the past 6 years have given us the opportunity to prove our patent claims and see if our premise about declining video technology costs is true. We have a firm understanding of where we're going, video wallpaper. This directly contradicts every video wall other manufacturers offer. By nature, the product they sell is the end result of almost a century of making bigger TVs with ongoing resolution limits. Now we've removed the resolution issue, 4K, 8K, etc., by developing unlimited resolution, which allows that what goes in always comes out. Speaking of what goes in, the video that goes in to show off our new video wall is animation from one of the top animation companies in the world, London's Glass Canvas. They make the Unreal Real 16K video reel, allowing us to mirror reality with video, the resolution of the human eye.
All right, so now we're going to take a quick look at the competitors. Very quick, Garrett. He advised me to make this quick. Obviously, there's some big companies in this. We're talking about a completely new product, though, different from big TVs. We're talking about an interactive home entertainment center video wall. The video walls that exist by Sony, well, you can look at what it says there. And if you take a look at the weight of it and the cost of it, my conclusion is it's too heavy and it costs too much. But I just want to show you these because this is a Chinese company called BOE. They are one of the people who are helping to pioneer the next stage, which should come, I predict, in 2 years, but it could be a few years longer, which is seamless panels that can go together. Now, there are companies that put seamless panels together, but not in a commercially viable way. However, this Chinese company, which developed this, you notice this is in a little pen. This was done about a week ago in Los Angeles, shown about a week ago. The reason is because it only puts out 400 nits of brightness. Nits are the brightness of a TV. So your average TV is 1,000 to 1,500 nits. So too dark, too expensive. The wall, the most famous one by Samsung, costs $106,000, which is pretty expensive. But in the home, they're limited to 4K. And once again, remember, we started out by looking at what is the size of the average home and built to that. And this is where I see our tremendous advantage for the next few years. Samsung, it's limited to 4K and it's too expensive. Doesn't need to be that expensive. All right, Planar. Just want to pop these people in. They do a lot of business. They do some airports and malls, and but they've made a video wall, which is $116,000. Unfortunately, it's not even 4K yet. So we see that we have a very big opportunity. So let's kind of go. On all these issues, you see, yes, yes, yes. You see the price better. You see all the things I think you would want to see in a product. So in each of these areas, we're way ahead of the curve. All right. Oh, sorry. I got a little panic there, gentlemen, or people. I'm sorry, I didn't see if there were some women there. All right. So your investment is used to fund the creation of the first interactive 16K video wall, which is we've created it, we've built it, we've tested it, it's ready to go. We want to put it out there and sell it. And we already have what we think are buyers. Now, there's two approaches we can take here. First off, you know, like Garrett said, you're going to have to sedate me. This is a killer idea. This is going to change the world. It's going to be in every single home. I absolutely know it, whether it's our product or others, but I think as we have through the past 40 years, we'll be the first one out and everyone will follow. But the first option is to say we have a 4-year business plan, and the goal is selling for this. I call it the conservative approach. Obviously, this is the business people and not me. Selling the patent at a target sales price of 60 million. And since nobody can do the effects we can do because we patented it and built it long before they were thinking about it, that's a very viable option. But here's what I think is going to happen. If we get the proper funding, we're going to create an industry-leading tech company with a profitable exit. And you can see the funds to be raised. And I'll stop real quick here. But the basic premise, an interactive home entertainment center that isn't blurry, that you can do phone calls from, that you can watch multiple screens at the same time, that can just put up a beautiful sunset at the sunset time. And that's completely interactive on all the platforms, including voice. And that's going to change the world. And what's really amazing about it, and I'm sorry, I get carried away, I'll stop, Garrett, is that this thing is created based on existing technologies. Really quick, average size of a 65-inch TV, average size of a 55-inch TV, pretty much universal across the industry. So when we put in our wall, we know we can change in new technologies, including the seamless technologies coming in the next 2 to 3 years. And with a little moment.
Okay, are we there?
Yes, we're there.
All right, great. Hey, so just a couple of additional points for the group. I did you a little injustice as we rush to the intro. Andrew touched on some of his past successes, but if anyone's ever watched the Weather Channel or just the weather in general on the news, anytime you see someone interacting with the background screen and you have the cold fronts or the warm fronts coming in, all of that was built by Andrew as well, and he's a pretty prolific serial entrepreneur in the space. So I'm only sharing that, Andrew, because you have that energy about you, where it's like you begs the question on the other side of the table for the investor: is this guy crazy like a fox or crazy? So
okay. Never heard that before.
No, but it's true. It's like when you make outlandish claims, yeah, it helps to understand the background a little bit there of the entrepreneur, because you've done it before, and I believe you'll do it again. So with that, other questions from the group?
Well, okay.
I have one.
Yep.
Yes.
What are your plans in terms of your manufacturing base and how to scale that for your growth?
Could you repeat that again? I'm sorry.
Yeah, what are your plans for scaling your manufacturing footprint, to reach the growth that you want to hit?
The magic part of it is, and this is not only just the weather, but I invented the first interactive telestration systems for a guy named John Madden, who became really famous with it. It started to allow those graphics and things to come on. So what we've done is we listen to where we're going, and I'm not going anywhere right now to answering your question. So we don't build. We're not manufacturers. We never set out to be manufacturers. The manufacturing is done by other companies, very competitive companies. Every one of their products, as they introduce a new product, is an improvement on the past. Okay, that's why I showed you those big, thick lines, the thinner lines, now virtually, and soon seamless. We saw that coming and built it that way. So what we do is we have a basic shell, and we utilize, our plan is to utilize installers in each city or market, rather than build up a whole structure. So what we all actually use, and this was my structure for the telestrators, for the election systems, for the virtual sets, was we actually use a group of distributors who sell this. This is the bigger picture. I'm getting into stick to the manufacturing. So we don't manufacture, we just buy the best stuff and put it in. The template for our system allows us to change it. We can change out the monitors seamless when that happens. We can change out the NVIDIA Orin when that's improved. One of the problems I heard about was when a lot of rich people spend $1 million on this stuff, and all they get is a big TV screen, right? They say, man, it came in, and then the day it came in, it was obsolete. And that's true, okay? All of them. These rich people spent all that money, and if some of you are rich people who have it, forgive me, all that money, and they got something that's obsolete the day they first have it. Ours is never obsolete. Our costs will always go down.
Okay, Andrew, last point. I just want to make for the audience. No, it's I love the enthusiasm. We just can't get to as many questions sometimes when the answers go a little longer. Want to make sure the audience is aware of the fact that you actually have a live demo in an office in LA in case anybody wants to visit and check it out. Is that correct? And do you want to share that in the chat as well, where they can go actually check out a real life video wall?
Yes. So rather than emails, do it in the chat.
I will share it with the group as well, but drop it in the chat real quick, as it doesn't hurt, and I'll.
I have everybody's emails, so whatever you prefer. That's what I prepared, but let me work on that while you ask questions.
Okay, well then fine. We'll shoot it out. Fair enough. We have about 8 minutes left to talk about the presentations we saw, Andrew. So, is there a final question that can be answered in 30 seconds or less from anybody? Maureen, did you look like you had something?
No, I thought it looks wow, but I've also seen the Sam. Have you been at CES, or are you going to go to CES in January?
I did not go to this last one. I went to the one before.
Every year. Oh, are you talking to Garrett or me?
You, Andrew.
Yes, of course.
Okay, so how is it different than the Samsung Wave display technology? Much closer, finer pixels, is that it?
Well, yeah. And remember, they're building big displays, TVs, right? This is not what that is. This is an interactive entertainment center in your home. Got to be short.
Quick follow-up. Is Sony or Samsung or anyone like that talking to you about acquiring that technology? I think it's wow. I think that there's a lot of potential in a lot of different categories, but does it work now for consumer application? And if it does, why wouldn't they be on top of it? And longer term, you also have to assume Apple's new Vision Pro, whatever, the VR approach is not going to be viable. This is bigger, easier to use from what I can tell.
Don't get me on VR. We signed a non-disclosure 6 years ago with Samsung. We signed a non-disclosure with LG. We signed a non-disclosure with Sony. They expired 3 years later, right? Because it takes time. I don't put something to market until it works, and I know it works. And so since then, we've revisited. We have really good contacts there. And shockingly, I finally pushed one of the presidents at Samsung. I said, come on, man, you agree with what I'm saying. And he said, you know what? We have a business here. We have a 25-year business plan with projected revenues for 8K televisions, for 12K televisions, and then we think 14 and 16. This wipes that off the market. And what I said is, I said, man, think ahead. You're going to be selling product into this system. If you saw that curve interactive, that means you can touch objects precisely in video. Let's allow, if the person chooses, to have an advertisement come into your room and be able to touch and select the things and buy right in the house. All right. Sorry, Garrett.
No. Again, I have to. I'm guilty. I enjoy listening to you go there, but we do have only 5 minutes to talk about the presentation, so I'm going to follow up with you. Please drop. Or I'll make sure the emails for all the presenters get shared as well. And Andrew, I'm going to have to ask you to sign off, and I don't think any other presenters. Marcin, you have to sign off as well now, but look forward to following up with you. And now we get to hear what.
So Garrett, I was in the middle of dual purposing, trying to get the
Sign
company.
up. Just sign up and I'll follow up with you. Look forward to it.
Appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
By the way, you saw the future today. Get rid of it.
All right. I have to admit my bias. I don't know if I'll ever invest, but I love that guy. I really do. He's great. Oh shoot, I gotta stop recording before